It's the first ACC game of the year here in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. The #1 Duke Blue Devils and the Boston College Eagles at 6-3 as we welcome you to the ACC on ESPN. So glad to have you with us here on a snowy afternoon outside of Boston. Mike Cousins and Mark Plansky on hand here with you. Duke, the nation's third highest scoring team, and they do a lot of that, Mark, in the paint.
Well, it's all started with Marvin Bagley Jr. I think, Mike, without question, the best player in college basketball. But they've got studs. Wendell Carter, #1 power forward coming out of high school last year. High-low is very hard to cover when you're the two best players in the country.
Boston College upset on its mind. Their scoring comes from the backcourt.
Oh, absolutely. You take a look at Jerome Robinson, just had his 1,000th point against Hartford last game. He's a do-it-all guy with the ball. And then Kai Bowman from North Carolina, committed to play football at University of North Carolina. He can compete with the athleticism of the backcourt of the Duke Blue Devils.
Year number 4 for Boston College head coach Jim Christian, and looking to continue a string of wins against top-ranked teams, at least in BC history. They've won the last 2 times against a #1 team. Going up against the Hall of Famer Mike Krzyzewski in year number 38 at the helm. And we are underway from Conti Forum. Not a ticket to be had for this one. And it's Boston College that wins the opening tip.
You know, with the athleticism that Duke has, they're going to run man-to-man defense and make Boston College beat you mano-a-mano. On the other side, coming down here, BC is going to mix it up. They're going to have a little matchup zone and a little man-to-man because they're very thin.
Starting lineups today are brought to you by Dr. Scholl's for Duke, which has its first possession here. 4 freshmen working with the senior Grayson Allen. Youth the theme all year for Duke. Averaging 94 points a game. They go inside. Bagley tips it in, and that's where you see their dominance on the glass.
Right out of the game. We showed you that graphic, Mike, out the open. 44% of missed shots rebounded by Duke. Mike, the average in NCAA basketball is 30%. That's outrageous.
The 44% by itself, you say, okay, that's good, but you put the number in context, and it shows exactly how dominant they've been there. Here's Robinson, who draws the double team. Bowman gets a shot at a 3 and drains it to give BC the lead. Carter gives the high-low feed for Bagley, who immediately gets the double team, and Duval, not a shooter, does draw the foul, a blocking foul.
Well, one of the keys for the Eagles is to make open shots. First shot up by Bowman, who can knock down the 3, goes down. That energizes the Conti Forum. But on the defensive end, Duke spaces as well as any team in college basketball. You have to communicate.
Allen with the fake and the lob, a bit off target. No problem for Wendell Carter, the freshman out of Atlanta.
And here's Duke extending the defense full court. We were at practice yesterday, Mike, and Coach Christian said, look, guys, on the high ball screens, they're just going to throw the ball to the rim because they've got 2 bigs that can go get it anywhere below the square.
Part of a size mismatch for just about any team. Popovich wasn't expecting that feed. He corrals it, and it's Robinson driving. With the drop-off, a foul on the way up as Popovich, the sophomore, heads to the line.
Well, Nick Popovich looks like he's a little intimidated, a little overwhelmed by the environment, and that is to be expected because you're playing against, obviously, a well-advertised front court. But an excellent job of driving off that ball screen, getting into the gaps, and getting to the line.
Popovich at 6'11", 243, comes in 9 for 12 from the stripe. But he's going to be important to what they do today, especially in the absence of Deontay Hawkins, the grad transfer who is now out for the year. Missed their last game with a knee injury, had surgery yesterday to repair a torn ACL.
Well, Pop brings a good mid-range game and an angriness to his game. Last year, he would hang his head low, Mike, when he made a mistake. Now he's got a short memory like a good golfer and just gets right back into it.
Bagley stuffed on the way up. The call is a jump ball, and the Blue Devils maintain possession.
Well, when they throw the ball high, get low. So get on his legs. And you can see everyone getting down, and that causes the turnover. Good job by Boston College early underneath.
Out of bounds, and last touch by the Blue Devils, 4-4 in the early going.
You know, we talked to Coach K before the game, Mike. He was a little worried about early going, a noon game. His team has traveled quite a bit in late November and December and wanted to see how the young freshmen would come out, creating their own energy.
Allen got the takeaway and a floor burn to go with it, and a feed forward. Carter with the bucket for Duke.
Of course, the senior Grayson Allen, All-American 2016, national champion in 2015. He doesn't have to worry about creating energy. He plays all out all the time.
Allen coming off a 14-point performance in that near record-breaking win against St. Francis of Pennsylvania, 124-67 final score.
Well, they're extending the defense, Mike, which is great, trying to pick up the tempo. And here's Grayson just reaching in. You can't be lazy against any of these defenders for the Duke Blue Devils. And then here come the black shirts helping out, gathering Wendell Carter for the deuce.
Third turnover for Boston College already here in the first 3 minutes. And when they lost to Duke last year, that was the thing that Coach Christian pointed out hurt them the most in the first half. Bagley, the tip, and he sticks it right back in. 6-11. It's not too much of a leap. Right to the rim.
Well, that's unfair. I mean, people behind us looking for over the back, but check it out, folks. Offensive rebound, missed shot. He just reaches over without, you know, he's reaching over Jerome. So Jerome Robinson's 6'1". At 6'11", the long arms, you just reach over and tap. It's like when you were playing one-on-one on the playground. You know, you're up there. You just reach over and get it back. It's unfair.
Yes, it's a long history of athletic dominance that landed me in this seat today. 4-point lead for Duke. Here's Bowman, 16 points a game. On the feed inside for Popovich, 10 on the shot clock. Out of the double team, Chapman launches. Off the mark. And Bowman steps back for a three. He's got his second of the game.
We can see already the guards dominating the ball with Bowman and Robinson touching it every possession. That's just great athleticism.
Traveling on Carter.
You know, take a look at the other end. Bowman just crashing in. Nice little jump shot after getting back out there. You have to know where he and Robinson are at all times. I mean, Mike, if I'm coaching against Boston College tonight with Deontay Hawkins going down, let those three guys beat you, right? You know the guards can score 20-plus points. But, you know, you look at Nick Popovich, it doesn't look like he wants to play tonight as a scorer because he knows he's playing against a superior front court.
Robinson going to work on Allen, right to the basket. Too strong off the window. "15-footer. Too easy for Gary Trent, the number 8 recruit last year on the ESPN 100.
But credit Duval. Duval came down and attacked on the transition. You know, Trent just said, I'm going to go to the corner, and when you do your thing, I'll be open. But Trayvon just pushes it right up every time.
Bowman wanted another one. Long rebound into the hands of the point guard Duval. Still developing his shooting touch, especially from deep. But leading the team 7 assists a game. He turns it over. So a double negative there for Duval. So he gives it up and picks up his second foul. So the point guard staff here at Conti Forum. Glad to have you back here with us. Mike Cousins, Mark Plansky for Duke at Boston College. Marvin Bagley, one of the best players in the country. And we went to BC practice yesterday. Jim Christian and you both thought of the same player.
Without question, he reminds me of the Admiral, David Robinson. I mean, take a look at this, folks. Okay, there's your lefty jump hook up and over the defense. We've already seen that. Down low, forget it. Catch it and throw it down. And what I love is the athleticism, not only for the lobs, as you see here, Mike, boom, but take it up and down the court. He's the fastest guy of the 10 guys on the court right now. Marvin Bagley III. He's 6'11". That's a little scary.
It's interesting to watch him play because comparisons are sometimes hard to come by for players of his skill level. Here's Bowman in the corner. He's got a third 3 in the first 5 minutes to tie the score. And when we spoke with Coach K earlier this morning, he said, look, we've won it all. In my career, I've done just about everything there is to do. But coming back, doing it again every year is because there are new challenges. And this team, with its interior presence is a new challenge for him, going away from the way they've played in the past.
Right on cue. So the big man, Bagley, the third, steps out, takes down the three. It looks like it's going in. Meanwhile, Wendell Carter is right where he's supposed to be, Mike, on the weak side, and just sheds everybody in the BC Eagles team and throws it back down.
Carter already 5 double-doubles in the first 11 games of the season for Duke. Robinson gets picked up, has a mismatch, throws cross court, and tipped out of bounds by Grayson Allen. It stays with BC with 6 to shoot.
Well, here's a good look at it. A good looking three. And as the shot goes up on the weak side, I was wrong. It's not Carter. It's the other guy. He was #1 center a year ago, folks, out of high school. Marquise Bolden. He catches it and throws it back down. Not bad for a 6th man, bringing a 7-footer.
Well, for a guy like Bolden, who didn't play a ton, here's Allen on the floor, scrapping again. He feeds forward, and a two-handed finish for Javin DeLaurier.
That's the second time Grayson Allen has created offense with his man-to-man defense at the half court. That's what a senior leader does.
7 made baskets for the Blue Devils. All of them have come in the paint. An opportunity in the paint for John Carlos Reyes. Off the bench for BC, he converts. So Allen takes the reins here as Trayvon Duval picked up 2 early fouls for Duke. Bagley goes to work, and a beautiful touch with the left hand.
All practice yesterday. Jim Christian said he wants to go left. He wants to go left. Remember a guy named Walter Berry for St. John's? All he could do was go left. Yeah, he averaged 18 points in the NBA because no one could stop him. Marvin Bagley III is exactly the same. You can maybe criticize that he doesn't have an awesome right, but you can't stop his left.
Pass too high outside, intended for Mitchell. Ball back to Duke. Hard to question what Bagley does when he averages 22 and 11.
Well, you're wondering, do you double team? Do you play one-on-one? You can't double team because they're going to kick it out for the 3. So now it's one-on-one because on the other end, the guards are getting involved on the defensive end. That's just outstanding effort by Grayson Allen.
The defensive coaching points yesterday in the BC practice for Bagley. Don't let him split a double team. Don't let him go baseline. And then with a smile and a bit of tongue in cheek from Jim Christian, he said, you know what, if he takes some shots, he might make a few. Speed all the way down the floor. And a foul on the loose ball after the missed layup. That's on John Carlos Reyes, his first.
Sophomore Kai Bowman is ready to play this afternoon. He came out for Jim Christian, fired up. We mentioned he's from North Carolina. A football commit to North Carolina, changed and played basketball. Even though his mother wasn't happy about it, he told us yesterday. He had to be convinced and allowed to play basketball. But he is a Division I football athlete getting up and down the court for Boston College.
Bowman has his mom, Laretha Pritchard, here. She came up from North Carolina today and actually helped dye his hair. A new fresh shade of red. It's been his signature look. Duval back onto the floor. Not a great three-point shooter. He's now just 5 for 31. That's under 20% for the year. Fight for the ball. Popovich comes away with it. The French 30 seconds for BC.
That's what happens when these young front court guys, Bagley III and Carter, go after every shot, Mike. That will open up offensive rebounding opportunities.
Stays here.
Wow, Marvin Bagley III. Let's
stay on ESPN.
How many ACC teams have to contend with this? Last night, BC women's hockey, a win over Merrimack. And overnight, the work begins to turn it into what you see here this afternoon. A sellout crowd to watch Boston College look for an upset over #1 Duke.
How about the answers? None. Not one. It's funny, though, obviously everybody in Boston knows that BC hockey and BU hockey have been perennial superstars in the NCAA landscape. But as a player, you know, I loved going into our gym, which there was no hockey rink underneath it, and shoot whenever I wanted. Unfortunately, these guys can't do that. And Duke had to go practice at Harvard to go see Tommy Amaker because they couldn't get on the court for their practice yesterday.
Fortunately, well connected over at Harvard. Offensive board with one hand for Carter and pure strength to rise up and stick it in.
It's a great example of why Bagley's getting so much acclaim on a national level, because Wendell Carter's cleaning up everything. I mean, folks, if Marvin Bagley wasn't here for the Duke team, Carter would be the #1 player in the country up front because he's that good and big. I mean, we touched on it at the open, Mike, the high-low game. How about just taking it off the dribble? You have to draw a double team, and then you've got, you know, inferior, undersized guards trying to box out that monster. Good luck.
And even if it's a forward going up against him, he's got such a wide frame at 6'10", nearly 260 pounds. From the corner, Chapman delivers the three-pointer. Quickly back the other way in transition. Bagley running like a deer down the floor.
Well, that was a comparison versus David Robinson, right on key. I mean, he was the first guy down the court. You make the three, you've got to get back. You've got to stop the ball first.
Robinson with the probe. And he'll shoot two as he's fouled on his way up by Alex O'Connell, the freshman out of Georgia.
I mean, just watch the big man run the floor. He closes out, and from a dead stop, just out, he's jockeying, and he just outruns everyone in the BC Eagle team. But, Mike, more importantly, you have to stop the guard, stop the ball, make him turn his head away from seeing the court, and then he never sees Bagley running down the right lane.
Here's Allen back onto the floor, flip-flopping with Duval. Free throw coming for Robinson, who gets it to drop. 76% free throw shooter for the junior out of Raleigh, North Carolina, who last year against Duke at Cameron dropped in 21 in a game Duke won 93-82. Bagley didn't like the look, now gets it back and walks with it. Today, ESPN with a trifecta of events for you. 4 Eastern, the MLS Cup between Toronto FC and the Seattle Sounders. Then at 8, the Heisman Trophy presentation. Baker Mayfield, the front runner. Lamar Jackson, Bryce Love in New York as well. And then at 9, top-ranked boxing, the WBO junior lightweight title fight. Everything on ESPN, as well as the ESPN app.
Now, on this side, Mike, Duke is not going to double team anyone in the post. So that one-on-one moves will be open, but then that's going to take away the offensive rebounding opportunities from the guards because they're trying to get the kick-out threes.
Popovich grabbed it in his fight against Carter. Chapman in the corner again. And it's a one-point game midway through the first half. Allen out of control, and from out of nowhere, Delorier soars in.
Well, this is Duke's big lineup, and it's almost like shoot and go get it.
Jerome Robinson tied at 22.
Well, Jim Christian said in order for his team to compete, they need to make open shots. They are making open shots. Duke is dominating the paint as they do every game, but if BC can knock down shots, they're going to stick around.
Over the back foul on Duke. It was a nice find from Allen into the post. But Boston College, like you said, when they're open, they've been knockdown shooters.
2 ways of getting it. Ball movement, inside out. Awesome job by Robinson, and the extra pass by Chapman for the corner three. But then again, you've got to know where Robinson is at all times. Just a simple dribble handoff, lack of communication by the Blue Devils, and he gets up and knocks it down.
That foul was on Delorier for Duke, his second. He becomes the second Blue Devil with 2 fouls. Popovich momentarily was able to shed Carter. Traveling the call, it goes back to Duke. 8:48 left in the first.
And partner, that's where BC really misses Deontay Hawkins, because if he was healthy for Jim Christian, when they dump the ball in and it's one-on-one, he has the ability to create one-on-one offense, whereas Popovich is still learning how to get his own shot off in the paint.
Hawkins was their most experienced player, 100 games in his career. There's Bagley for another 2 points. But Hawkins, for a younger team for Boston College, which has been, from what Jim Christian has said, the most talented group he's returned this year. That's a major loss in a variety of ways, but especially in this game for a post presence. That was halfway down for Chapman.
That was a good look. A lot of times when you get well contested, and that was a well contested shot, you end up putting more arc on your shot as if you're shooting through a scope. That was all but in.
Grayson Allen aggressive on the drive there, something that Mike Krzyzewski mentioned before the game. He'd like to see a little bit more of, harkening back to that 37 points he had against Michigan State. Oh, it's another three-pointer. 7 for 10 from beyond the arc for Boston College, helping them stay right in this game. They've got a charged up crowd behind them as well. 7:45 left in the first. That'll be a fun matchup for these two teams. They inked this series back in 2015. A lot has changed since then. Rick Pitino no longer the head coach. Tom Crean no longer the head coach. Jawan Morgan will be a good foil for Anis Mahmoud. Ray Spalding in the post, who have combined to help Louisville after their last game against Siena earlier this week. 15 blocks, jump over Minnesota for the most in the country.
Well, you just had them, and you mentioned to me before the game, you like the fact that they're playing a little looser on the offensive end. Of course, traditionally they play really hard defense, but at times have a hard time putting points on the board.
8 of 11 from three-point range for Boston College as Robinson delivers a 2-point lead for the Eagles.
Make open shots. The jump shots that are going down, Mike, have been from the extra pass and confidently going up.
Trent from the corner reciprocates with a triple. Duke by 1. Looks like Boston College has decided today to either live or die by the 3.
Well, Gary Trent Jr., #1 shooting guard in his high school class, didn't come out on fire the first 6 or 7 games. Last game against St. Francis knocked a lot down, and now he seems to have a nice rhythm with his shot.
Jordan Chapman, transferred from BYU, averaging 11 a game.
That looked like a mid-range shot. Mike, what's going on? I thought you always shot behind the maroon stripe in the Conti Farm.
Changing the formula as Allen puts it on the deck, draws contact, and gets the bucket.
Grayson Allen scores in all 3 phases of the game. And that's not Bill Belichick, offense, defense, special teams. It's three-point shooter. He's an elite shooter. It's transition, and it's getting to the rim off the bounce.
Nice fake Robinson to get Bolden off his feet.
Amazing what happens as a shooter when you play with confidence.
Foul is called on Bowman, his first, after Allen got him off his feet.
I mean, Jerome Robinson knows that he has to be the go-to guy. Nice little ball fake. One dribble, doesn't try to take it all the way in, Mike, because that's where the block shot comes, and knocks it down with confidence.
And the discrepancy between 2-point field goals and 3-point field goals is huge right now for both teams. Duke getting it done in the paint, Boston College from beyond the arc. Carter stepping back, and Duval. Nobody put a body on him. Comes in just like Delorier did. A little bit less sizzle on it, though.
Well, it's because there were 2 Eagles boxing out Bagley. Because so much attention's being put on Wendell Carter and Marvin Bagley III that you have a wide open offensive rebound.
Foul against Boston College. And it's on Reyes, number 2, on the sophomore big man.
We take a look at these staggering numbers, and Duke obviously dominates the paint every game, Mike. They're not knocking down the threes because they are not inside-out threes. That's their game plan. Get it down low to Marvin Bagley III and get it down low to Wendell Carter. And when you're double-teamed, kick it out, make the extra pass. Whereas Boston College, they don't want to go near the rim. They want to get the extra pass and knock down the 3. The difference is the game plans won't change. Inside-out basketball leads to made threes, and these guys are on fire. You know, I mean, I hope they keep it up because it is exciting.
Crowd excited to see a foul called on Marvin Bagley. He tried to create a little bit too much space with his huge wingspan under the basket, his first. Duke 33, Boston College 32 with 5 minutes left here in the first half. And Boston College at 6-3 and Duke a perfect 11-0. Second straight week they've been the unanimous #1 team in the AP Top 25.
Second possession that Duke's gone to the 2-3 zone, and Coach K is just trying to spread out their defense to protect the three-point line, run them off the lines. But it's the second possession that Boston College has done an excellent job getting into the gaps with the bounce pass.
Foul on Gary Trent Jr., freshman from Columbus, Ohio. Coach K not a fan of the call, and it sends Chapman to the line. 1-1. 96% free throw shooter coming into this game. 23 for 24. It's a guy who's 24 years old, former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Washington. Went on a 2-year mission over to Taiwan, learned to speak Mandarin, got his degree in 2 years from BYU, and came to Boston College with 3 years to play.
And you worked hard to give him that broadcaster jinx. Well done, partner, as he misses the second free throw.
It's amazing how much you really do control.
Syracuse guys, I don't know. That Newhouse school, it's like superpowers.
Anybody who makes it out of there into broadcasting, it's a true underdog story. From, as a friend of ours might say, the Harvard of Central New York.
From right here in Boston, Hingham, Massachusetts, the great Sean McDonough. Of course, his dad was an icon in the Boston Globe sports section for so long, Will McDonough. But yes, nobody brags more, and as you should, about the Newhouse School than my good friend Sean McDonough.
Grayson Allen taking a little razzing, which he's certainly gotten used to at this point in his career as he missed the three. The Eagles whip it sharply around the perimeter. That's a wide open 15-footer. Bowman's going to take that every time.
I think you have to look for Duke to go back to the man-to-man. There's too much space in that zone.
Transition defense elapsed for BC as Trent knocks down the three.
And that was not BC's fault. Bowman did an excellent job of running back to the paint, identifying who's open, and then trying to whack out and cover the three. But Trent just went up confidently and has knocked down a couple here.
Even with a hand in his face, Kai Bowman is just feeling it right now.
I mean, this young man played corner and wide out and was ready to go play Division I football. I don't think he's intimidated by anything on the court this afternoon.
He grew up a big North Carolina fan, so there's a little something extra on the line for the North Carolina native out of Havelock. Allen, contact. And here comes Bowman.
Excellent job by Chapman, staying on his feet, not giving into that pump fake that Grayson Allen does so well.
Allen stepped out of bounds, so it's Boston College with possession. 37-36, the Eagles in the lead thanks to Kai Bowman, 5 of 9.
Duke off the glass, and you got to take him out of transition.
Jay Will would score 100
Will you
points.
put a helmet on? That's a bad message.
Mike Mark, we'll see at the half.
All right, Chris, always models of sartorial splendor with your two partners there in studio. Right back to action and right back to three-point shooting. This is Stephon Mitchell, the freshman from Minnesota, who makes it 9 of 13 from 3 for BC.
Well, Seth is right. You've got to keep knocking down the threes as they just did. And they're doing an excellent job on the glass. They're only down 1 in rebounds.
Late call on an offensive foul as BC looked to be in control on that drive, and Robinson picks up his first.
And who is it? Grayson Allen. Excellent job, not just running back, transition defense, but getting outside the restricted arc, planting his feet, and giving up the body, taking the charge to take the crowd out of the game. They're ready to explode.
Got into legal guarding position to stop Robinson. And now Allen over on the bench may have cut his hand on that play. He's getting looked at. Well, if he didn't have a floor burn by now, I'd be shocked. A couple of loose balls he's dove for. And with Duval having picked up the 2 fouls, Allen comfortable running the point guard spot here. 2 bigs up top. Allen's missed his last 2 3-point tries. Feed to the corner for Trent, and the three is pure. He takes a look back at the BC bench.
And that's pure basketball. Inside out. No rush by Wendell Carter at all. And a great job by Gary Trent Jr. finding that open gap, finding that open space, and knocking it down.
Trent's got 11. Open space in the zone defense. Chapman is not afraid.
You look at the Duke coaching staff, they're hanging their head like, you've got to be kidding me. What is this, 1985 Villanova Georgetown? They're not missing.
Largest lead of the afternoon for Boston College at 4. Delorier puts it on the deck, and he's called for his third personal foul.
Well, at the end of the day, you want to be somebody else beat you than the starting five. So when you get into a pressure situation like, oh my gosh, we're down. We're not supposed to be down. We're number one. I'm going to take it to the rim. Credit Boston College sliding over, taking the charge, and getting down here, working against this 2-3 zone.
This is a manageable deficit right now for Duke at just 4. As you saw earlier in the year, they've overcome deficits of 16, 17 against top 25 caliber opponents. Mitchell corralled it. He shovels it to the corner. Oh my goodness. What a performance from Chapman. Conti Forum, Boston College 46, and number 1 undefeated Duke 39. 11 of 15 from three-point range for Boston College. And all of the Eagles starters have made at least 1 3.
Nothing energizes a team, especially a guard-oriented team, than making shots. They have got everybody in Conte form all excited about what's unfolding here this afternoon.
Inside of a minute, the Eagles don't want to slow down. On the feed from Bowman. Ball gets tipped out, and Allen looks to run the floor. He leaves it short. Trent's follow no good. Off the back tip, the steal by Delorier, playing with 3 fouls. Allen right to the basket. Contact, no whistle. Here comes BC. Bowman ahead of the field. His lay-in extends the lead, 48-39.
A little too excited by Kai Bowman, trying to do more than just what he just demonstrated. Duke's getting up and down the court. Grayson Allen knows, as you can see, his left ankle right there. He might have twisted it, but then that Bowman to go the other way, and nobody runs as fast or flies as high for Boston College than Kai Bowman.
So it's 2 fouls on Bowman. The lead 48-39. And a chance at the line here for Trent.
Well, Coach K knows that BC is shooting lights out and expects that not to continue. Hey, who knows, it may. But more importantly, he's going to tell his team at halftime, like, hey guys, it's 2 points at a time. You can't run up and down and get 6 points a possession. We're fine. We're down 8. We are fine. Stick to the plan. But it's hard when you're defending shots and the guy's knocking down 3 after 3 and you're contesting.
And it's difficult because, as the Duke coaching staff mentioned to us, these are all a lot of firsts for this team. For a group that starts 4 freshmen and a senior, they had their first big games earlier in the year at the PK80 out in Portland. Now they're going into their period of final exams. The first time they do that, their first ACC road game here, and it's a sellout.
At the end of the day, first ACC road game, 12th game of their careers as young players, as freshmen. You have to roll with the punches.
One last shot for the Eagles. Bowman lets it fly. Almost had it go down. But what a first half. 48-41 as Boston College shoots 73% from beyond the arc.
And take a look at this. Get it down low if you're Duke Blue Devils. And hey, why not just keep shooting if you're Boston College? It's a game of differences, but right now, first half, 7-point lead by the Eagles from outside.
Eagles feeling good. Now time for the halftime report. Chris Cotter, Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams in the studio. The number 1 Duke 48-41 at halftime here at home in Conti Forum in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Perhaps surprisingly, beyond the three-point shooting, the Eagles have also out-rebounded the Blue Devils 17-15, and they've also shared the ball quite well to have the halftime lead. So glad you're back here with us. Mike Cousins and Mark Plansky here just outside of Boston. So the three-point shooting was great, and once the Eagles got going, Duke couldn't slow them down.
Well, you touched on it with the assist. 12 assists, 17 made shots, and it's been the extra pass. Getting into the gas with the bounce or the pass, and then not settling for the first pass, move it to the next guy, and knocking down. For Jim Christian, he went into the locker room and said, all right, guys, don't change a thing, and have confidence that you're going to shoot as well in the second half as you did in the first half.
Trying to do what they have not done in quite some time, and that's knock off a ranked opponent. They last did it against Syracuse, a three-point win back in 2014, and hoping to keep their momentum going from the first. Why not back to the outside after the miss on the three-pointer? Now Chapman tries it, and he delivers. Chapman did not sit in the first half, and he now has a game-high 18 points.
Duke came back out on that man-to-man defense. A little confused why they went to the 2-3 zone against such a hot-shooting BC Eagles team, but a good job on the offensive glass, getting the long rebound on the missed three and knocking down the second opportunity.
Duval was limited playing-wise in the first half because of foul trouble. He played just 12 first half minutes. The foul there is on Robinson for Boston College, his second. So Duval goes to the free throw line, number 6 player in this year's ESPN 100, just a 63% free throw shooter. Interesting point made by Seth Greenberg and Dan Dockich on their podcast this week, talking about guarding Duval and saying, if you want to try and beat Duke, don't guard him past 15 feet. Just let him go. And he connects on both right there.
That is easier said than done. On paper, give him the three. But he doesn't want to settle for the three, so he's always just attacking on the offensive side. I think Duke has to get to the paint, either by the dribble, as we just saw, or by the pass. Get the ball down low and get back to your dominance in the paint.
For the year, Duke averaging 49 points in the paint, and 68% of their first half points came in the paint. Traveling college back to Boston College, so alternating turnovers. 51-43, the deficit now for Duke. First half deficits, though, in November, not a strange thing for them. They trailed at the half Portland State, Texas, Florida, and of course they're 11-0. They came back to win all 3 of those games. Well,
Coach K reminding us before the game, there's no questioning this outstanding competitive effort and mentality of the 4 freshmen. But hey, they're learning as they're going.
That's the 3rd time where Allen has launched himself at a defender, and Robinson got called for the foul, holding Allen's arm.
Well, he's been on the floor all afternoon. It looks like he's gone 4 rounds with Rocky Marciano. All out all the time. Comes back for the charge, and then his teammate lands on him, giving him the shiner. He didn't miss anything. Came right back in the next possession. As tough as they get.
Unfortunate for him, as he did get that charge call, Delorier swooped in and clipped him with the shoe. Trent steps right into a 3. Solid box out there from Popovich as he lets it fly for Bowman. Up ahead, Popovich just whiffed on an open basket.
You got to dunk that, Mike. He did everything right. Boxed out, ran the floor, threw it down.
Foul is on Bagley, going over the back.
Marvin Bagley III has not been involved as much as he needs to be this afternoon. The stat sheet looks great. He's having a nice double-double soon-to-be game again, Mike. But he needs touches. Like, he's putting up 14 shots a game. He needs the touches.
So he doesn't do it wide open, but Popovich, the sophomore, goes back to work against the future lottery pick, and it makes it look easy.
And the coaching staff at BC touched on it last year. If he missed that uncontested layup, he'd be done for 5 minutes. Comes right back down with a nice one-on-one move.
Bagley thought about the 3. And Trent from the right block gets fouled. He'll go back to the line.
The sophomore Popovich in the paint. No double team. You're on your own. Let's see what you can do. Balance, nice little ball fake, and then you better put it high off the glass to get over Bagley.
The guy who's getting a lot more responsibility this year. Only started once last year, averaging 6 and 4. And now comes in 9.6 rebounds.
It's exactly how the first half started, though, Mike. BC went down low to Popovich, and he did not convert on any. But it causes the Duke defense to do what? Turn their heads and lose the perimeter shooters, and they went on fire from behind the arc in the first half.
On the first free throw, a lane violation called against Wendell Carter for Duke. So they wave off the first free throw attempt, and the second is pure for Trent. 53-44. Boston College at 6 and 3, looking for a signature victory in the first ACC game of the year. How about Bagley? He picks up the steal, and now that's foul number 3 on Bowman. So both Bowman and Robinson, the leading scorers for Boston College on the year, at 3 personals.
He absolutely called it, partner. How about the hands? Looks like a point guard. Show the ball, give me the ball, and then just pushing it because he recognizes that Bowman is going to try to get in there. And he looked like Rajon Rondo trying to draw a foul there. He's 6'11", folks.
Didn't he look intent to go 94 feet?
He always does. That's why I like to see him getting touches. Good things happen.
Chapman, who's been absolutely on fire today, missed from 15 feet, and now Vin Baker Jr. getting his first minutes of the game, gets called for the foul, his first. Now, Holiday Hoops are back, and next Sunday, the 17th, ESPN with a top 25 matchup for you. Roy Williams of number 11, North Carolina, in Knoxville to take on Rick Barnes' number 24 Volunteers, 3 Eastern on ESPN, as well as the ESPN app.
You can live with that, Mike. That's just a great one-on-one move. Uncontested shot, just rimmed out. But credit Boston College for getting on the defensive glass and holding Duke to one and done.
Popovich, he doesn't seem to care who's guarding him, whether it's Bagley or Carter. It's Bagley who comes away with the board up ahead for Duval. Going all the way into the paint. Tries to get a little fancy behind the back. Now Bowman wants to push. And a foul is called on Allen. He thought he had a back tip. Instead, it's a personal foul.
In fairness to Grayson Allen, there was a lot of traffic between that referee and his back tip. But, you know, it's fundamental basketball. If you're going to play matador defense, you might get all leather, but it doesn't look good, Mike. So the referee's ready to blow the whistle.
And it's Olayed into the scorer's book as his second foul. 53-44.
And you touched on it earlier. Allen is the one guy that Coach K cannot lose in this game because he is the veteran. He's been there before. He's not intimidated.
Foul is on Reyes for BC, his third. Where has Duke's youth showed the most today?
Lack of energy. I think what Coach K told us before the game, Mike, he was a little worried that they would not come in and create their own energy. They're playing in front of 8,600 fans. There's a lot of blue sweatshirts here, folks, but I guarantee you, they're kind of loving this game. They might be swaying over to the home team. That was a great box out by the freshman Mitchell on Bagley.
Reyes was looking for it. Now it's Allen ahead of the field. And he's got an easy two-handed dunk.
Now, Duke is going to make their runs. That's what they do. They're more athletic than you. They're going to get their opportunities to get up and down the court. Great job by Coach Jim Christian shutting it down with the timeout. Well, Grayson Allen, if he's not picking you on the defensive end.
Washington and Kansas. That was a huge one, a 22-point underdog there. And how about Florida? Loyola Chicago. Porter Moser's team beat a top 5 squad for the first time in 33 years for the Ramblers.
Oh, great job. Let's go back to Washington, though. Your boy, Mike Hopkins, who spent, what, about 900 years as an assistant coach up in Syracuse for Jimmy Boeheim. Look what he did. He went to the 2-3 zone against Kansas and had a strategy of giving them no 3-point shots and comes away with a pretty convincing victory.
Here's Bowman on the take, going past Bagley. The energy surges as Bagley is charged with his third foul.
All practice yesterday, BC worked on that high ball screen, and here's your most athletic guard taking it to maybe the best player. Get out of my way!
DQ, it's a nugget-free zone.
You set up mismatches. Now, Marvin Bagley III can cover guards, but watch what happens when he sees the screen coming again. Bowman just takes him right to the rack, straight line drive, and gets the foul. Now, look, what happened on that possession? No help defense. Why? Because they're all sticking to the guys behind the arc because they're shooting lights out. So if they're going to take away the three, get to the rim. And Bowman is not afraid to take on the consensus best player in college basketball, in my opinion.
Bowman gets a breather. How much of that help defense is communication?
All of it. And that's something with the young freshmen. They have to learn to do that better. As Bagley III steps out and knocks down a 23-footer to sit this crowd down.
Bagley already with a double-double today, becoming the first Duke freshman. Think about it. First Duke freshman with 7 straight double-doubles.
And he's just an elite special player. And that's why I said coming into the second half, Mike, he needs touches. So now he is playing aggressive. I mentioned the competitive spirit of this collective freshman group. He leads that competitive spirit. He does not want to lose in anything.
Baker, the freshman, turns it over as Allen steps into a transition three and hits it. Grayson Allen, a 47% three-point shooter, as the Blue Devils on the comeback trail down by 4.
Live ball turnovers will crush the Boston College coaching staff because you're not matched up and you have to stop the ball or Grayson Allen will knock down the transition three.
And after that turnover, Bowman was called up off the bench, waiting for the next dead ball at the scorer's table to come back in. 4 to shoot here, and on the drive, Jerome Robinson with strength of the rim.
BC just beating Duke one-on-one off the dribble, just taking it more aggressively to the rim.
Bagley hit it last time. He said, why not?
Well, because you're 6'11", you're being covered by a 6'3" guy. That's why not. Get down low, Marvin.
Robinson looking for the mismatch. Bagley sagged off. The shot short, and it's Duke basketball.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike. He has a phenomenal shooting touch for a 6'11", 18-year-old. But on the other side, this is what I mean. Get to the rim. Robinson not hesitating, not fearful to get to the rim.
He's been a consistent contributor ever since he stepped on campus, averaging at least 12 points since his freshman year. And the team's leading scorer at 16 this afternoon has 11.
And that is how you split a double team. Right there. Good show by Popovich, but what an unbelievable crossover Duval and right to the rim.
On the shot clock for Boston College. Back to Bowman. 18 points for him today. A high arcer, no. Follow doesn't go. Popovich tips it and gets called for the foul.
BC does an excellent job, continuing to do an excellent job on the glass. But look at Duval behind the back, crossover, and then, you know, you can't teach that finish. I mean, that is why he's the #1 or was the #1 point guard coming out of the class of 2017. I don't care how many hours, Mike, you work in the gym. You're never going to be able to do that. Sorry, not going to happen.
That was the biggest point of emphasis teaching defensively from Jim Christian. You can let him go east-west, but once he goes north-south and gets half a step, you're beat.
And there's no way to prepare against that. You know, you can't prepare against great length because you're only so big with your second team on your second team players on your team, but you can't prepare against that type of handle in explosive, take it to the rim type of play.
No, and even the forwards that BC was using to try and simulate the size of Duke were about maybe 6'5", 195. It's just not the same.
Yeah, what did Jim Christian say yesterday at practice? He said, my 9-year-old son is 65 pounds. Imagine Wendell Carter eating him and then setting a screen on you. That's what's coming tomorrow afternoon. You can't replicate it.
Just trying to give a picture of the size that Duke brings to the floor in the front court. Eagles trying to hold on to their lead in a 2-point game.
Duke doing a much better job in the second half, not allowing that kick-out three pass. And that resulted in a one-on-one move, which in the first half, Boston College was getting their threes on the open shot with the extra pass.
Duval puts it on the floor, spins. And a third chance bucket ties the game at 58.
And when you get to the paint by the dribble, you have to create a secondary slide help defense. And then good luck on the offensive rebounds against this Duke team.
Bowman on the feed. Popovich left block.
Popovich is going to be open, and he has been open in the second half because they are doing such attention to the perimeter. He's going to have that opportunity. It's nice catch and finish.
Allen puts it on the deck. He's fouled on the floor, and he'll go to the line for a 1-and-1 when we come back.
They all go to the glass. You have to put a body on them.
On their dominance and just how good it is what they've done being at #1 in the country. For Mike Krzyzewski in his 38th season just here at Duke, 18% of the games that he's coached have been as the #1 team in the nation. That is a staggering number.
All of his numbers are staggering.
How about this? To reach his win total, 1082, you'd have to win 20 games a year for 54 years to catch up.
I didn't know they had Matt in Syracuse. Nice job, partner.
Thank you. Jerome Robinson extends his wings as BC extends its lead.
And what is a tribute of a great coach? Like the Hall of Famer Coach K, Jim Christian coming out of that timeout with a set play for the alley-oop to their athletic backcourt. That was outstanding.
Carter wanted a high-low. Defense stepped in front, no call. Missed three-pointer, snared by Bowman.
And a great job of gang rebounding, but Popovich just taking Wendell Carter Jr. off the glass.
Bowman had a double screen. He fades and scores. 20 for the sophomore. Duval was just out of control.
Well, you know, he's a freshman. So you're down by 6, and you want to do what you can do better than anyone in the country, and that's speed. But out of control, credit Boston College. They stopped the ball and kept retreating, not creating the foul.
Robinson, turnaround, long rebound, right to Bowman, right to the basket. Here comes Allen with a 3-on-2, three-pointer. And Carter across the lane finds a wide open Duval. Duke takes a timeout, 10-17 to go. How about this play out of the timeout?
Well, again, Coach Christian knows that when you have a rested backcourt of this athleticism, Bowman finding Robinson, how about that pass? I mean, the elevation is spectacular. But as you talked about earlier, lack of communication on the Duke guards. Nobody helping, and Wendell Carter Jr. just assuming, why would you throw the ball up by the glass to the point guard? Well, hey, here he comes, Jerome. Send it in.
Well, lots more exciting action later today here on ESPN. At 4 Eastern, the MLS Cup between Toronto FC and the Seattle Sounders. At 8, the Heisman Trophy presentation. Will Lamar Jackson be the second to make it 2 in a row, or will it be Baker Mayfield? And then at 9, top-ranked boxing, the WBO junior lightweight title is on the line. Everything on ESPN as well as the ESPN app.
You got to go with Bryce Love. I mean, look. Baker Mayfield's an unbelievable season for the Big 12 champ. I get that. Lamar Jackson is spectacular. But Bryce Love is a human biology major. He spends more time in stem cell laboratories than he does on the field. Give him the record. Give him the whole thing, the trophy, and everything.
Well, he'll have a good career no matter where he ends up. Bowman gives it up midway through the second half. Boston College hanging to a 4-point lead.
Duval did not want to take that three. You touched on that earlier. That's not what he does best, but it's also what Duke needed. They needed to slow it down and get the ball into this guy's hands.
Allen blows right by, scoops, scores, and will stand at the strike.
You have to respect his shooting ability so much that the moment his eyes, no matter how many black and blue scrapes he has, go to the rim, you rise up to play defense, and then he takes it right to the rim, straight line to the other side, using the rim as another defender, and converts on the and one.
Mike Krzyzewski said before the game that for as much as Grayson Allen wants to play point sometimes, look into the post, they need him to be more aggressive, and he's certainly done that on defense and they're on offense.
Well, he also mentioned that he wants Grayson Allen to be more aggressive on the offensive side. You touched on it earlier, 37 points against Michigan State, his career high. But how about do that every night? We want you to take over. Everyone else can be a complimentary freshman. You're our guy.
22 for Bowman to follow up on a 21-point performance last Saturday. Boston College well rested coming into this game with a week to prepare for the Blue Devils. That's a big one. Bowman with his 4th personal foul.
I think the two best ball fakes in college basketball are Grayson Allen. He's just always on balance, eye and ball. And the point guard for Villanova, Jalen Brunson. You have to know they're not going to shoot. They're going to show you the ball. Watch. Whoop. And now straight to the rim. He doesn't bow out and let the defender catch up. He comes right off your hip and gets to the foul line.
What makes a good shot fake?
A shot fake is a shot not taken. So if your eyes are on the rim, the defender thinks you're going to shoot it. If your eyes are on him or on the rafters, he's going to stay down low. The moment your eyes go to the rim, that's when the guy's going to raise up, and he knows it. He'll give 1 or a second. The moment you get on your toes, he is already down low, Mike. He goes right by you.
This offense takes a little bit of a hit here with Bowman having the 4 fouls. He's got 22, most on either side. How long can they afford to have him sit on the bench here?
Another 10 seconds? How's that? I mean, he's had an outstanding game, and he is imperative to BC's success. But they've got a minute to the 8-minute timeout. Try to steal 60 seconds and get him right back in the game.
Inside for Reyes. Mismatch against Duval, who pokes it away as Bagley comes over to help. Allen, number 3 on him. 4th team foul against Duke. But it's a little bit lopsided foul-wise here in the second half, with the Blue Devils already in the double bonus. 10 team fouls against BC.
And with just under 9 minutes left to go in the game, scoring with the clock stopped. I mean, that's what the coaching staff of the Duke Blue Devils want to do, because that will put BC in a little bit of a, what am I going to do, and start pushing the tempo.
Robinson, step back, right in front of Bagley. 16 for Jerome Robinson.
Shooting starts with confidence, and it's sky high for Jerome Robinson. But when Bagley put his hand up again, it's like shooting through a sight. Extra arc. And that was quick. That was too quick. That's the first time we've seen Grayson Allen not shoot in transition and just try to create his own one-pass shot 3.
Allen in the open floor. Too much on it. But the swat and a volleyball tip-in for Delorier.
That's a live ball turnover. That is a killer for Boston College. Not because you did a good job defending Grayson Allen, because everyone else is coming down for the tap dunk on the offensive rebound.
Robinson, nice feed, deflected inside. Fight for the loose ball. And it'll be a jump ball, possession to Duke.
It's the second time the ball has gone down low, and nobody wants the ball down low. But how about we get the ball to Robinson? Up and over, Mr. Bagley in the 3rd. Boom.
When it comes to Big Ten ACC clash, Dang Adele and Louisville taking on Indiana. Little bird named Seth Greenberg told me Louisville leads the nation in block shots. Indiana better hit some outside shots, Mike.
They rejected 15 in a Wednesday win against Siena, where they were just within 3 at the half. Speaking of halftime deficits, Portland State, Texas, and Florida all thought they had a win against Duke in their sights. Instead, Portland State lost by 18, Texas by 7, and Florida by 3. Boston College hoping that it can break the trend, leading by 7 at the break today, 48-41. And their lead now is down to 2. The Eagles have led by as many as 10. Their leading scorer, Kai Bowman, still sits here with 4 fouls. It's been a great day for Popovich in the post, showing some good moves, just not always able to finish.
Again, one-on-one basketball in the paint. Great Snell missing a nice up fake step back 3 the last time down. But here's what happens about those deficits at halftime. BC cannot fall into the same trap of those 3 teams. You have to continue to play to win. Do not play not to lose, because Duke will beat you up.
The difference with Duke and other teams is that their players make contested threes more often than not.
And that was well contested.
First time Duke's held the advantage since it was 36-35 in the first half.
You know, despite the amount of points that we have here, 70-69 with almost 7 minutes left to go, tempo has been a slower tempo for Boston College's liking. They can't get in a track meet because they're making a lot of shots. That's why the scoring is so well. They need to control the tempo the last 7 minutes rather, and just stay on the glass. Second opportunities is where Duke will show themselves.
Bowman with those 4 fouls back into the game, kicks to the corner. 3 doesn't fall. And relative to the first half, it seems like a lower volume of 3 attempts for BC.
Coach K and his coaching staff has done an excellent job adjusting. Stop the perimeter game.
Bagley in transition, and Delorier has fouled out of the game. That's 5 on the sophomore. Holiday Hoops are back. Coming up next Sunday, a top 25 matchup for you. Luke May and the North Carolina Tar Heels go to Knoxville to take on the Vols. It's already a sellout. The first time that Tennessee has been ranked since 2010. It'll be a good one. UNC Tennessee next Sunday. So the day is done for Delorier. 8 points, 5 rebounds. As one of the more vocal players on this team takes his seat. Nobody gets to the long rebound, and it belongs to Duke, up 70-69.
That's the other side of sitting a player with 4 fouls. Bowman was in the best rhythm this afternoon, and he sat down with that 4th foul for about 3.5, 4 minutes of game time, and then he has an excellent wide-open 3 in the corner, but he's not in the rhythm of the game, which he was dominating the rhythm earlier in the afternoon.
Under the basket, too big, too strong. Wendell Carter nearly played his college basketball in this area. His options came down to Duke and Harvard. 2 pretty good choices for the big man from Atlanta.
You think Tommy Amaker is unhappy about Coach K stealing his program-winning, possibly big guy for the Ivy Leagues?
Well, they were in Harvard's gym last night, but of course Conti Forum covered in ice for hockey last night. BC in a practice gym, and Duke practicing at Harvard.
Well, out of the timeout, Coach K and the Duke staff said, get the bigs the ball, touch it, and then move on from there.
Trent was in a battle for it, chasing to the corner with Bowman. And it's out of bounds off of the BC sophomore.
And very fortunate that Bowman did not pick up his 5th foul on the 50-50 ball. That's you can't fault him for the effort, but at times with 5 minutes, 20 seconds left, you can always, give them the possession. You can't get an extra foul.
Somebody's open as Allen drew the double team. A deep 3 from Trent. No, Wendell Carter steps up for the dunk.
Take a look at Popovich on the court. He is tired because he's been battling with Wendell Carter Jr. all afternoon. And sooner or later, that fatigue shows itself in offensive rebounding.
21 in gray. It looks like he jumped in a pool with how much he sweat today.
He is all out. And, of course, the biggest front court that he's played against this year, he's only a sophomore. He's not used to going against studs like this. So he's doing a good job. Good block, good contest by Bowman. But underneath, Wendell Carter is just a block. I mean, he is a man. So you don't have the ability, Mike, to just swing your elbow and push him off the lane. It's the other way around. He turns and you get pushed off the lane.
Tonight on ESPN, Bucci and Anderson, your hosts, midnight Eastern. Teddy Atlas will have ringside reactions after what could be one of the fights of the year. Mel Kiper, Todd McShay on the risks of drafting Baker Mayfield, potential Heisman winner. And LeBron and the Cavs looking to start another long win streak. SportsCenter with John and John on ESPN and the ESPN app. In the comebacks that Duke has had this year, I talked with assistant Jeff Capel before the game. I said, what's been the difference? He said defense has been one thing, but just forming habits of playing the way that they should play in the second halves of those games has been a huge difference. Oh my goodness! Kai Bowman, uncontested to the rim, 74-73.
Second time coming out of the timeout, Boston College has executed a well-designed play by Coach Jim Christian.
Offensive foul on Bagley, and BC has a chance to retake the lead.
You mentioned it, it's communication, a backdoor, wonderful. Now, it wasn't just Bowman reading the defense. That's a set play, Mike. We saw them practice that, so the ball passer knows that if he fakes it, there's a good chance that'll be open, and the finish you can't teach.
Bowman off the screen, through the basket, through contact. The Eagles have the lead. Trent got hooked on the way up by Chapman. He'll go to the stripe as he helps silence a rowdy crowd.
You just can't sit him down. He's too valuable to your team. You talk about fearless. I mean, again, we mentioned it. Kid from North Carolina going to go play football at Carolina says, I'm not intimidated by anybody from Duke University. Are you kidding me? He grew up a Tar Heel fan. He's loving this afternoon.
Trent sends it in. Bowman with 28, and again playing with those 4 fouls. Leading scorer for Duke this afternoon is at the free throw line. Gary Trent Jr. sitting at 18 points.
So valuable to knock down free throws, but again, the clock is stopped. Now the clock is your biggest enemy for Boston College. You're down 1, you want this game to be over the next time you go up 1.
Will there be a second option? Not on this possession. Halfway down and out. Offensive rebound for Mitchell. Now inside 4 minutes to go. Chapman right to the rim, and he missed it. It's been a handful of times tonight. Difference-making baskets, and BC has whiffed.
I think he was literally surprised. There was no contest. Maybe the first layup that has been uncontested all afternoon.
Trent, a 3. Right in front of Bowman. That's a big-time shot to make it a 4-point lead.
The Trent shot really looks good this afternoon. The coaching staff for Duke was telling us how they were surprised that he didn't come out of the gate this season knocking it down, but it's a good-looking shot.
Bowman navigating, feeding. Too long for Reyes.
Well, they got the TV timeout, but Trent...
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. Got another one coming your way on ESPN. Just 15 minutes from tipping it up. Quentin Snyder, best 2 scoring games of the year, but his last 2. Louisville, Indiana, coming your way in just about 15 minutes. Until then, though, back to Mike and Mark, guys.
All right, Chris. Well, we cannot confirm whether this list has been checked twice, but there's a lot of blue here in the stands today. Maybe 50-50 Duke and BC fans for a packed house of better than 8,000 as Boston College is looking for an upset over the #1 team in the country.
And they go to the 2-3 zone for the first time all afternoon. Another great job by Jim Christian switching it up.
Long feet ahead. Here comes Bowman. Outside Robinson gets a good look at a 3. And hits it. 1-point game.
Excellent ball fake.
Jump ball, Boston College basketball.
On the other end, dribble drive, get to the rim. Bowman finding Robinson. There's an excellent up fake going up with confidence. But on the backside on defense, they go man-to-man, but just get your hands involved. Excellent rotation, getting in there and stopping Duke on the pick and roll. Saw Popovich wide open on that high ball screen roll. BC taking all 30 seconds on this possession.
Too strong. Rebound Carter. Trent has been dangerous from three. Drives on Bowman, who's got 4 fouls. And the Blue Devils back it out. 1:45 to play.
You got to find Grayson Allen and Marvin Bagley III. Get the ball into your superstars. Let them touch it.
10 to shoot. Bagley, 3 defenders. His pass too strong. Kicked out of bounds. Last touch by Duke. 1:32 to go as Boston College is looking for an upset over number 1, having lost 23 straight against top 25 teams.
Look for a set play from Boston College because the last 2 possessions, the high ball screen, were very well defended by Duke. Now let's get to the position that everyone knows where I'm going to be on the court.
Robinson, NBA 3. Now under a minute to play.
BC calling the exact same play. Jerome Robinson hit it from way downtown. But everyone ran the play and knew that's where the ball was supposed to go.
Bowman with 10 on the shot clock. Driving on Duval and getting the foul. 1-1 coming up for Bowman.
Take a look at that last possession, the pick and roll, but look at Grayson Allen take his eye off of Robinson. That is exactly where the ball was going at all times. He comes in and tries to help. Jerome steps back and knocks it down.
And the lead is 3 for the Eagles.
You know, he was the last guy in the gym yesterday in practice, remember, Mike? So he expects not only to make these, but not to miss, which is more important. That's all confidence.
Duval into the lane. His lay-in is good. A quick timeout called by Duke. Well, for as lost as Duval has looked at times today, right there, he got exactly what Duke needed and a quick bucket. Last time Boston College beat Duke in 2009, a huge day for Tyrese Rice. He dropped in 21, the upset for Boston College against then number 6 Duke. And it was the Eagles' first win over Duke since the NCAA tournament in 1985, and they haven't beaten them since.
Well, you see the enthusiasm of the student body rushing the court back in 09. Hey, everyone's been standing, Mike, for the last 10 minutes. Have you noticed that here? I mean, these folks are ready to rip the roof off.
Gary Trent, 22, 5 of 11 from deep. Bowman with 30 within 3 of his career high.
And now you have to protect the ball if you're Boston College. Duke is going to come out, press you, maybe get a soft trap. Don't try to reach. Don't try to give up the sidelines, but rotate and see if you can pick off that first pass. BC, get it to the guys that can handle the rock.
Chapman has played more games than anybody else on this BC roster. Gives it up for Bowman. Foul is called on Duval.
will be freshmen. You cannot grab the jersey. That's going to make the referee look in your direction. And then whether he pushed Chapman or Chapman fell backwards, the perception from the referee as you take a look, you grab the jersey, it's like an offensive lineman. That's going to get called holding every single time. And then either a flop or an off-balance fall to the floor, put the referee in a bad position, he has to call that foul.
A season of firsts with so many young players. Boston College by 2 with 15.3 to play. Now, each of the last 2 times that Boston College has faced the #1 team in the country, they've come away victorious against Syracuse in 2014 and against North Carolina in 2009, an 85-78 win.
Well, when you have 2 guards like Bowman and Robinson playing with elite confidence and physical capabilities to match up with this Duke backcourt and then start making your shots, it's time for #1 to possibly go down again here at Conti Forum.
Ron Groover, the official, coming over for the official explanation. Flagrant 1 foul is the call on Trayvon Duval. 2 shots and possession for BC in search of the upset over undefeated #1 Duke. That's the guy you want, a 96% free throw shooter.
Boy, was that smooth. That was ice water in his veins smooth. Nothing but nylon on the second.
And they might as well try and find him again here on the inbounds. Good defense by Duke. And it forces the freshman Mitchell to call timeout. So BC is out of timeouts, and Duke has 1.
We were talking to Coach Jim Christian yesterday, his first head coaching job at Kent State. He said he won, what, 6 games in the last 10 seconds? 3 he had no right winning, like down 7 with 14 seconds left. He told us all his luck had run out. I don't know, Mike. This seems to be a pretty lucky opportunity making all these threes, but then executing on the well-diagrammed plays that Coach Christian has had coming out of these timeouts.
Big day for several BC players, but no one bigger than the sophomore Kai Bowman.
Well, he's done it every which way, all with confidence, off the bounce, pull up mid-range, getting to the rim, alley-oop dunks, 3-point shots, and on the other end has done an outstanding job staying in the game with 4 fouls for almost the last 8 minutes of game time.
Bowman with 30, Robinson with 22, and Chapman, perhaps the surprise today. Keep in mind, they're doing this without Deontay Hawkins, the grad transfer from Illinois State. Thought they'd be really missing a big post player. Haven't had him today, and it's the first time that BC has had 3 players with at least 20 since 2007.
There isn't anything he has not done here at Conti Forum. Now, if I'm Duke, I'd let Popovich catch it. Like everyone else can shoot free throws on this team.
Especially number 25 in gray, Chapman. Clock down to 14.1.
Just great coaching. Send your most veteran player to the basketball. Yes, he's shooting 96% from the foul line, but he wants the ball. So he'll get the ball, and now with confidence have an opportunity to knock down 2 huge free throws. It's still a 2-possession game if he knocks them down. Coach Jim Christian might have a little extra sweat going over there on the sidelines.
What do you think he's thinking right now?
He's thinking start the clock immediately. And Chapman, please make these.
Not only the percentage shooter you want at the line, but also a guy who's been there before, 24 years old, and now can stretch the lead to 87-81.
Keep everything in front of you, Mike. Make them shoot a 3.
Trent launches against a double team and hits it. Duke takes its final timeout.
Boston College did everything right. They forced a 25-foot three by Trent Jr., and he knocks it down.
He's just been absolutely on fire the last 2 games. In that game against St. Francis, he was 4 of 6 from 3. And Trent this afternoon is 6 of 12 from deep. That's about 50% combined over his last 2 games.
Shooting's all confidence, Mike. I know you're confident when you come to work every day. You weren't confident when you were the knockdown free throws at Syracuse University pickup games. I guarantee you that at Manley Fieldhouse. This young man, the last 2 games, every time he rises to shoot, he thinks it's going in. And that's what the great shooters always do.
What's the defensive strategy here for Duke on the inbound?
Again, I think you let somebody other than Chapman catch the ball, even double team, and leave Popovich or somebody else shooting in the 60% free throw percentage for Boston College wide open and go lay the wood. Now, if you're Duke, I put a big guy on the ball. Watch out for running the baseline because you know that's coming, and don't let the guys go deep because the 1-4 fake short and go deep is all you need to catch the ball and run out 7.7 seconds.
Bowman, Mitchell, Popovich, Chapman, Robinson on the floor for Boston College, with Mitchell, the freshman, to get it in. And the officials have to make sure to keep the students back because this gym right now is like a balloon waiting to burst if BC hangs on for the win. Mitchell, no timeouts. Feeds in for Robinson. 6.3 ticks stand between BC and victory.
This is the first time I've seen Boston College live, Mike. I have been so impressed with Jim Christian's coming out of timeout executions. That was unbelievably well designed. Let Chapman run to the play and grab the double team, and then all they did is let Robinson come off a simple screen wide open to catch the ball.
They've landed dunks on a couple of those out-of-bounds plays. Robinson, 21 against Duke in a loss last year. And he adds to his total 23. Now we got a whistle, and they've got to reset the clock. It was back at 6.3, but it started to run down to 5.6, but Allen did not touch the ball, and so the clock should not have started.
In a 2-possession game, just keep retreating, keep everything in front of you. Obviously, Duke needs a 3 and a prayer to get back into this game, but do not defend the ball handler. Do not get up on him. Keep retreating because that 3-point line is your 6th defender on this possession.
Here comes Trent up the floor. Duke down by 5. His shot no good. A wild week in college basketball continues as #1 Duke goes down to Boston College. Here in Chestnut Hill, Boston College a winner over #1 Duke. So for our entire crew, my partner Mark Plansky, I'm Mike Cousins saying so long. Indiana, Louisville continues a great day of college hoops.